Among the many headlines about Hillary Clinton's email server this week, there was this: a Quinnipiac poll of 3 key swing states showing Vice President Joe Biden actually polling slightly better than Hillary Clinton when matched against Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton still leads nationally, though. Latest poll showing her 18 points ahead of Bernie Sanders on the Democratic side. And of course, Biden isn't even running, at least not yet. But it is noteworthy that over the past year, Clinton's net favorability ratings, have flipped. In August of 2014, a year ago, Clinton averaged 50% favorability. Now, a year later, she's at 49% unfavorability. Crossover happening in early April of this year, about a month after reports revealed that Clinton had used a personal email account while at the State Department. 5 months after that, Hillary Clinton has now turned over that private email server to the FBI in an interagency investigation into whether classified information was sent or received from her personal account, and still defending her decision to use private email as she campaigns.
Did you try to wipe the whole server? You didn't
I have no idea. That's why we turned it over.
You said you were in charge of it. You were the official in charge. Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something?
I don't know.
Well,
you
no.
know how it works digitally. Did you try to wipe the whole server?
I don't know how it works digitally at all. Thank you all. Thank you all very much.
Is this an indication that this issue isn't going to go away for the remainder of your campaign?
Nobody talks to me about it other than you guys.
Well, let's talk about this with the panel. And I mean, this gets into, we have the Biden talk that's out there, and we should say there's a little bit of news on that front this morning. This is in the New York Times about will Joe Biden get in this race. And this is that Joe Biden apparently reaching out to those who could support his campaign potentially. The idea that he may now extend you see there's some Democrats supporting Mrs. Clinton have quietly signaled they would reevaluate their support if Biden were to join the race. Apparently, Biden's going to extend his thinking period on this a few months now, a little bit into the fall, to see if this email a story or something else brings down Clinton further. Also news this morning, look at this. Hillary Clinton is going to interrupt a planned vacation to campaign in the Midwest. Maybe they're a sign of a little bit of nervousness there. You can see there's a growing recognition in her campaign that the continuing inquiries into her email practices and the Republican attacks amplifying the story have started to filter into the mainstream.
Steve, if a week like this does not convince Joe Biden to get into this race, I do not know what will. Because that press conference, you had her launching like half a dozen memes in like 30 seconds there with her responses. Nobody believes her when she says this, when she plays dumb and says, oh, what are you talking about? Wiping a server, what's that? Nobody actually believes that. And I think that this is going to be a continuing problem for her throughout this. The whole email conversation is just, even if people don't understand it, it reminds them of the bad old Clintons,
well,
the bad aspects.
When you say no one believes her, look at these numbers. This was the swing state polling. We put some of it up earlier, but this is Quinnipiac in 3 key swing states. Is Hillary Clinton honest and trustworthy? And basically by a 2-to-1 margin, all those states, they're saying no. So, okay, yes, you're saying ouch, Vicky. The counter to that you would get from Clinton folks or people who support her would be, hey, those numbers were the same for Bill Clinton back in the 1990s. The country's used to having these sort of nuanced views about the Clintons.
But here are some other numbers. Earlier, you put up a graphic of where Biden stood. He's at 14%. Okay, well, that's still trailing Hillary Clinton. Just a couple weeks ago, Biden was in the low single digits. So within a couple of weeks, he has gone up to 14%. I would not doubt that within the next week, he is up to 1/4 of a percent. And that's when he jumps in. He's waiting for the numbers to go up. But then he jumps in
and he gets the same kind of scrutiny that Hillary's been getting.
This email thing just smells funny, and it smells funny to Democrats.
People like it more. It's that basic.
Well, it's also, it's hard to compare Secretary Clinton's position today to President Clinton's position when he was first running. He was at the back of the pack at this time in the election cycle when he was first running. He did not vault ahead until he won the New York primary after going on the Imus in the Morning show and giving a pretty good performance and, acquitted himself well. He went on Arsenio Hall, picked up some more public support, garnered more national attention. He came from behind. She's in the lead. They were in radically different positions at this juncture in the campaign, and this is her second go at it, where she was in the lead this early on, and then something came out of the blue and dogged her.
Another difference is charisma. Bill Clinton oozes charisma.
But
Hillary
if you spend time
doesn't.
with Hillary Clinton by herself, she is actually
That's the story. I always hear that if you
and
knew her behind the scenes,
Yes.
you have a different. But most people don't know her behind the
No,
scenes.
they know her on
Trump
television.
Era, we
Yeah.
see charisma 24/7.
Well, listen, this goes back to JFK, right? I mean, when you're doing TV presidencies, it has to jump out on the screen. You're not going to be in everybody's living room individually. That's not the way we campaign.
It's still, I mean, from Biden's standpoint, I mean, there's a couple things that I think would hold him back. First of all, I mean, there's the issue of legacy. Look, if you're the vice president, a two-term vice president of the United States, and you run for your own party's nomination, and you finish, you lose, there's one thing, but he could actually finish, at this point, you look at these polls, he could lose to Bernie Sanders. I mean, there's a chance, sure, there's a chance he wins the nomination, there's a chance he finishes third, and that's a pretty bad blemish on a political resume.
If you're not first, you're last. So, you know, if you're in the words of Ricky Bobby,
I mean, YOLO. You know, it's like what you.
I get that rationale.
You know,
I just wonder too, but again, it's a story that goes back a generation. This idea that the Clintons don't quit, and I think that lives in the minds of most Democrats too. That stories like this always come up.
Yeah.
It looks terrible for them. Their poll numbers will drop, and then they recover, and things look different in 6
From a
months.
tactical perspective, I think if you're a strategist and you're working with Secretary Clinton, you say, listen, just wait it out. You know, the Republican field right now, if you want to describe it this way, and we talked about this before, it looks like a circular firing squad. You know, they're killing themselves with Hispanics. They're killing themselves with any potential immigrant group. They're killing themselves with non-whites, broadly speaking. They have to win more than 40% of the non-white vote to take the White House. The math is still in a Democrat's favor. The Democrat who is still in front is still Hillary Clinton. So you could make the argument, it's like, listen, just tough it out.
And she is, in fact, that's the other polling that came out this week is, look, if you match her against the other Republicans in national polls, she's still leading. She's still 5, 6, 7 points ahead of them. So it does raise the question, too, like, what would it take for Biden to get in? I guess to me, she's got to start falling behind the Republicans. That's when the Democratic Party panics, when they say, oh, wow, Rubio's now 11 points ahead of Hillary, or something like that.
I just feel like there is, I think it's not just a charisma gap, but I think that one of the things that is going to dog Hillary and be a problem for her throughout this campaign is that there are a number of Republicans, and I think moderates, people who are sort of in the independent side, who in 2008 thought that she was a responsible person, someone who they could trust to run government, someone who they could trust on that 3 a.m. phone call. I think that one of the problems with this is that it doesn't just go to the sort of deceit kind of problem that the Clintons have. It goes to the basic, how do you run things? How, you know, are you a responsible person in charge? And I think that actually is going to hurt her in the longer term in a greater sense than we may fully appreciate now.
And it's those moderates, those independents who may just stay home. So Hillary Clinton gets the nomination, and these folks aren't going to turn out and vote for the Republican nominee, whoever that person is. But they go, I just don't want to turn out and vote. And Democrats lose